Hi friends, in the previous video I am trying to explain you about that SQL, where we are using the SQL, what are the advantages of SQL. Some people are pronounced like SQL. So in this SQL, now I am trying to explain you about that how to write the table and how to enter the data into the table. How to write the table means we are giving the table name like customers, and how to enter the data into the table, for example customer ID, first name, last name, like that, and the details of that data, how we are planning to give that data into the table. So today I am trying to create a table. For write down the table, the query is create table. Table name is I am taking as employee, 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 and employee ID. Employee ID is generally in integers, so we are giving it as int. And employee name, it is in characters, so in SQL we are giving like that varchar. So generally the name should be in not more than 20 letters, so I am giving that 20. And employee ID and salary like integers. So after that we are closing that and giving that semicolon. First we will trying to run this one. So see here, when we are run this query, then we are getting this employee ID, employee name, and salary. So first we have created a table name employee with the columns employee ID, employee name, and salary. Now I am trying to give the data into the table. So first commented this one, otherwise like this it will come. Table employee already exists, so already we have created, so please comment. In SQL we need to comment like that, like this 2 lines. After that, so it will not run the same query, so we are going for that query. So enter the data, so it will be easy to us. Insert into employee, spelling we need to write down proper spelling. What we are trying to insert, EID, ID is different, so EID need to give that proper column, EID, and name, comma, salary, values, as 1. For integers we don't need to give that in single quotes. For that characters we have to give single quotes. We have to give it in single quotes. Salary is 10,000. We are giving the values like this, and after that end with semicolon. Please run this one. So we entered the data. Employee ID is 1, name is Hima, and salary. Why we are giving these 3 details here? Without giving these details also we can write down the query. First we comment this one with how we can comment 2 lines, that is comment, so it will not run the query, the line of that query. So next, insert into employee values, for example 2, in single quotes, and salary is 20,000. Close it and give it semicolon. Insert into employee values. So see here, SQL query successfully executed. However, the result set is empty. So second data also inserted. Why we are giving this one here particular name, employee ID, employee name, salary, column values? Because that, for example, in this query we are missing few of the details. For example, we are trying to give employee ID and employee name only in that query. It will take the values of the two only, not salary value. Here we are giving the whole details about that employee. Here we have 3 columns only, so we are giving 3 columns data. For example, if we want to give only 2 columns data, for example, employee ID, employee name, so it will be get confused what we have to give that one. Employee ID is number, okay, and employee name is a character, okay. If we are giving that name and character, name and salary, then how it will take? For example, 2 integers and side by side, it need to know in what column we have to enter, so that we are inserting that employee ID, employee name, salary, column names, after that the values. Generally, when we are giving the whole data about that table, we are using this query. Only proper columns when we are using, at that time we are giving the column names. So I thought you are understanding about this all. So now we are giving the data about that, inserting the data into the employee. For example, we need to update the data. For example, I am trying to update the data about that employee. Here we first, before that we have to comment like this, otherwise again it will run. So I am trying to explain you how to update the data in the employee table. Update table employee, set, for example, salary. In salary, Mouni salary is 20,000. I am trying to update it 30,000. Set which column? Salary column. Salary. Set salary equal to, for example, 30,000. Where I am trying to update that one? Where means it will take it as in ID, because that, for example, number of Maunis, number of Himas, and number of persons with the same name we have, but employee ID is same. So unique number is employee ID. So while we are trying to give that one, then it will understand, oh, unique ID it will take. We need to take that unique ID. So update employee table, set salary is 30,000, where employee ID is 2. If we are giving employee name is Mouni, some other person have that same name, it get confusion where we have to update that salary. So employee ID is unique, so we are giving that based on that employee ID is 2, then you have to change the salary is 30,000. So we have to run this one. So SQL query is successfully executed. So it was updated 20,000 to 30,000. So in this one, for example, if you need to delete a row from that employee table, for example, ID is equal to 1, where ID is equal to 1, we need to delete the data. So how we have to delete? Here I am commenting this one line also, and after that, so delete from employee. So delete from employee, where class we are using here, ID is equal to what I told you, 1. So where ID is equal to 1, we need to delete that row. So first run this one. So here see, no such column ID. So what we have to mention, what the mistake we have done, it is the name of that column is employee ID, E underscore ID. We given that ID. So we should be very careful about that column name. So run SQL. So successfully executed. So that column was deleted. So in this one I will explain you once again. Here we learned about that how to create the table. So for example, I will explain you in one more time how to create the table. Create the table, we have the query create table, table name. For example, I am trying to create one more table like employee 1. So employee 1 table, employee ID, employee name and salary we are planning to give the details. So that are the column names, employee ID, employee name, salary. With that employee ID is integer, so we are giving int. If that employee name is characters A, B, C, D like that, so we are giving varchar. That characters also within the 20 letters, because that if we are giving so many letters, the names, for example, we are giving 30-40 letters of the name, it's difficult to see. So that we are giving within 20 letters, most of the times it will be in minimum 20 letters, within 20 letters. So salary we are giving in integer because that it is in integer. So create table, table name and the column names. Based on that column names we are giving the data. So after the creating the table, so first we have to run this one. So we are getting one more table like employee 1. Here employee 1. The table with the same name it will not take, because that employee already exists, it will show. For example, we will try once again employee with that. So see, table employees already exists. So we have to give one more table name. If we want to create new table, then we have to give new name. So after that creation of the table, we have to give insert the data. How to insert the data? Insert the data by using the query insert into what is the table name we are planning to give. In employee 1, for example, in employee 1 we are planning to give the data employee ID, employee name and salary. For example, if we are trying to give only 2 columns, employee ID, employee name is enough. The data should be employee ID and employee name is enough. Run this query. See here in employee 1 table we have employee ID and employee name. So salary it was not mentioned. So employee ID and employee name is enough. For example, if we want to give that, insert the data in all the values, we using this query. So all the columns data if we want to enter, insert into employee values. No need to give that particular column names. So insert into employee values. Here we are using employee 1. So employee 1 values to something Monica and so see here the table name is different but the data is the same. It will take similar data but the table name should be in different. When we are giving same table name it will not allow. So run SQL query. So here see second Monica 20,000. Moni 20,000, and after that when we are trying to give, after inserting we are trying to give, see here one Hima 2 times it was updated because that I have run that query 2 times. So it was it's taking that Hima in 2 times. So we need to comment like this. If we want to delete that one, so it will 2 Himas will be deleted because that ID is same. So when we are planning to, for example, if I am trying to delete from table employee 1 where employee ID is equal to 1, then when we are running, so see here 2 tables are deleted. And when we are trying to update that table, the query is update employee set salary is 30,000. We have 30,000 salary? No. So we have to change it to 20,000 salary in the employee 1 table, where employee ID is equal to 2. Run SQL. SQL is successfully executed. Employee 1 table, set salary is equal to 20,000, updated that employee ID is equal to 2. So after this, seeing this one, today we learned about that how to create the table, insert the data into the table, insert the data into particular columns of the table, and update the table and delete the table.